I really enjoyed the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. There's something very interesting about the first Fnaf trilogy, maybe even the first quadrilogy. I don't know, 4 games, and that is because of the weird and bizarre atmosphere they gave. It felt weird, it was scary, it was, I don't know. As I said, it was difficult to describe. On Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator, a different direction was took. The way the story was told was more direct. The hidden lore was still present, but since this was the last 2 games of the franchise, or at least supposed to be, it was needed to clarify everything. And a message to the last 2 FNAF games, or the 3 if FNAF AR counts. But now, before we head into the deep and intellectual analysis of the games, make sure to leave a like, and I'm being serious, I'm a beginner at the site, and you leaving a like and mainly a comment will help me a lot. And if you enjoyed this video, consider checking out the other one I post, and even subscribing. So now, let's begin with Five Nights at Freddy's 1. At the start, this game can feel a bit monotone, but it really isn't. The first night introduces you to the main mechanics and how the animatronics work, so of course it couldn't be that difficult. But from night 3 to forward, shit is constantly happening, and I mean constantly. Bonnie keeps getting in and out of your door, the power is almost going off. Bonnie and Chica can be both at your doors, which consumes a lot of power. And if your power goes out, well, I think you know what happens. There will be a moment as night 4, I think, that if you don't keep looking at Freddy at the main stage, he will move, and when he moves, he will be at your corridor looking at the camera like that. And if you don't close your doors, he'll jump scare you because he doesn't appear on the doors. He goes from the corridor to jump scaring you in like a very small amount of time. Just the way Freddy twitches that the menu already tells you that this is not going to be easy. See what I mean? The atmosphere of this game is built perfectly. You constantly hear sounds and music that makes you think, is this normal or is someone at my door? At the start, you never know what the next move of the animatronics are. Everything from the background noise to the posters at the walls is very well crafted. Talking about well crafted, I don't think these guys really look that scary, but Scott manages to make these guys look absolutely terrifying on the cameras. Like at this sprite where Foxy is almost getting out of his cove. And talking about Foxy, there are some pretty well thought mechanics at this game, like you having to constantly look at Freddy or Foxy for them not to move, and the power thing, because this part is fucking hard. And talking about hard, let's talk about his successor, Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Imagine this, you just enter the game and instead of simply clicking new game on the menu, something happens. Isn't this intro fucking sick? It's almost like when you finally enter the menu, it's a drop, you know. Now, new game. First thing, you don't have doors, so you don't have any 100% certain way to prevent someone from getting into your room. So if someone is near, you have to get him out using another way. Checking the cameras and the phone guy comments on a music box. You go check it on the cams and there is it. You already noticed there are some weird posters of a very weird creature inside the room. But here's the thing, you don't have any idea what you're even preventing by winding the music box. You have some clues from the posters, but you're not sure. You don't even know what's inside the box. And you don't know if you should or shouldn't keep winding it. But well, phone guy asks you to do it, so let's trust him. Checking the other cameras and using your flashlight, you can see this. Toy animatronics at the main stage. They look not very creepy, but looking at the other cameras, this is what you see. Completely dismantle, destroy a bizarre animatronics. They don't even do nothing at this night, but still. Yeah, you probably need some help. And keep on that mask. Good luck. This game's a big improvement from the first one. The atmosphere of this game is just as creepy as the first one, and sometimes it makes you feel even more nervous. There will be a lot of times where you have to do 2 things at the same time, 2 mechanics that conflict with each other. So you have to choose, but of course you have to deal with the consequences.
For example, Freddy's at the front of the corridor. You put on a mask, but at the same time you need to wind the music box so Puppet doesn't come and kill you. But you can use the cameras while you're having your mask on. And talking about Freddy, no, I said the designs for the first one Disney look very creepy and blah 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 blah. But my friends, this game designs are near perfection. First, let's talk about the toy animatronics. They don't look very creepy, but honestly, I don't see this as a problem. In this game, I view the toy animatronics more and challenges those as spooky monsters, which makes sense because there are 10 animatronics in this game. But I'm not saying these are the best parts of the design, because these aren't. These are. First, Reader Freddy. Freddy doesn't have the dismantled look as the other ones have, but still they are pretty present here. But overall, he looks way more threatening. Not just his body looks more robust, but the face more squared? His eyes look more dead, less human. The same thing to Foxy, their designs are at the same level, but the two animatronics who really differentiate themselves from the others are Bonnie and Chica. First of all, Chica. She is really creepy. If Freddy and Foxy eyes looks already dead, her eyes look fucking decomposing. Her mouth broken wide open like that looks terrifying, and that plus the eyes create this face expression. Her arms torn apart, everything in her design feels very well thought. Now everyone's favorite, Wither Bonnie. First, obviously, let's talk about his face. Pitch black with two red dots, half of it destroyed. No real bunny hands, just endoskeletons ones showing. Same for one of his foot. One of his arms completely destroyed. Looks fucking sick. Not just that, but in this game there's a crucial addition. The minigames. From this game until like Sister Location, the minigames are the main way of telling the Fnaf story. Here everything is way more cryptic and honestly I love it. You got some very iconic moments, like of course the birth of the puppets, the gifts give life minigames, and talking about the FNAF story, let's talk about the last game on this video, and the one with the best story from the tree, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. In FNAF 1 we had 4 animatronics. If you count with Golden Freddy, it's 5. In FNAF 2 we have 7. If you count with Golden Freddy, again, it's 8. But in FNAF 3, we have 1 animatronic, or should I say, 1 killer. In the second game I mentioned one very important element, the minigames. And if you piece them together, you figure out a story about a man, Purple Guy, a man that kills children, and the souls of the children possess the animatronics you see during the game. But the story doesn't end there. And one night, for an unknown reason, maybe because the police was investigating him, maybe he was being haunted by them, we don't know. He goes to the pizzeria and destroys them, piece by piece. He thought he was saving himself, but what he didn't know was that by doing that, he was setting the souls of the children finally free. The children follow him, and he, in desperation, hides inside a spring money suit, a model called Springlock. Inside the Springlock suit, there are multiple metal parts and needles that should activate when someone is entering it, so it serves as an animatronic. But of course, that's not what happens. They fail, and something very bad for him happens. He then gets lost inside a place, for no one to fight him. The pizzeria then closed because of the multiple brutal incidents that occurred inside it, but several years later, they reopened with a new proposal, a horror attraction, made to poke fun at the stories that surrounded the Fazbear Entertainment. But what people didn't know was that inside the suit a couple of workers found in the old pizzeria. He was there, Purple Guy, and he was then unleashed inside Fazbear Fright, the horror attraction. Opening the game, everything follows the same as the previous one. You open a new game and this is a place you're at. Different from the other ones, this place feels putrid, it feels rotting. This dark tone of green, the gas leak mentioned by the other phone guy, and the cameras being so dark and with that weird white noise, it makes it feel even more decomposed. So yeah, nothing happens at this night. Like, I'm not saying this figuratively, like, nothing happens. Everyone gets confused at this part, but when night 2 starts, it's when things finally click. We found one. A real one. And while fixing the venting system and other system, playing multiple minigames, you have to deal with him, Springtrap, who has one of the best fucking designs of all time. Like really, this looks amazing. It has the same feeling from the weird animatronics, but more human and more that at the same time, very creepy. And after freeing the soul of the children through minigames you find in very questionable ways, you get this cutscene. And this story finally ends. The good ending. Everything burns down, Purple Guy dies, and the children are finally put to rest. Or at least, that is what we thought, because it didn't end here. He didn't die. This isn't done. Not yet. He came back. Of course he did. He always does.
Bittersweet, but fitting.
Alright, I tried to make this as dramatic as possible, but there's something wrong. I think that the side of your head look too dumb. So yeah, I think it's clear that I really enjoy these games. This video is way longer than the first one and it took a lot of effort to make, so make sure to leave a comment and a like. Seriously, as I said, I'm a beginner and this will help me a lot. I'm currently posting one video per week, so if you enjoyed this one, consider checking the other ones I post. So now, thanks for watching and goodbye.